Hey everyone, Pastor George here, and miracle of miracles for you on this Culture Thursday. Although I guess it happened yesterday. The Mets won; they beat the Nationals, and so I thought I would talk about one of the great loves of my life for Culture Thursday: baseball. Love baseball. I actually wasn't really into it until late high school. It took me a while to get into it, but I played it growing up, and I just love the sport a ton. And I wanted to talk about kind of like today, it's pretty common for athletes to talk about their faith out in public. Recently, there was someone on the Orlando Magic who made a big hubbub because he talked about his faith. And it happens quite often, right? We're actually kind of used to it in a lot of cases with athletes, which is good. I'm glad that they use their platform to talk about that. As long as they don't say anything or do anything embarrassing, you always want to look out for those people who say one thing and then do the other, which happens quite often in sports, but not just sports, but everything else. But I actually wanted to talk about today the very first kind of Christian baseball player that was really popular and also really good. He was one of the first. He was part of the opening class or the entering class into the Hall of Fame when it first opened in 1936 or something like that. A guy by the name of Christy Mathewson or Christopher Mathewson. But his nickname, and you'd never hear a baseball player get this nickname today, was the Christian Gentleman because he was kind of more intellectual because he went to Bucknell College and he never pitched on Sundays, which is actually, reminds people probably of Sandy Koufax, right, who never pitched on the Sabbath. Although I will say back in those days, only like 8 states or something allowed people to play games on Sunday. Like public athletic contests were banned on Sundays for quite some time in the United States until that became relaxed. But he never pitched on a Sunday, even when he had to or was scheduled to, and so that really endeared him. He played for the New York Giants when they were a thing, and he was really, really good. And I think, it just makes me, grateful that we have people in these positions. But we often think that these positions kind of are only, are only if you become famous. But I mean, like, chances are to someone in your life, you are as important as these athletes are to their fans, right? You might not have the same reach, but we all have a people that we can speak into their lives about, right? And every time I think about this, I'm like, well, who are those people? Well, obviously you guys, but there are all other sorts of people in my life who see me as very important and value my opinion and things like that. And so whenever I think about, that type of stuff, it was like, humbling, but also makes me excited that someone cares that much about what I have to think and makes me really think strongly about how I communicate the gospel and other important things to people. So Mets won. Go Mets. Hopefully they win tomorrow. See you tomorrow.